Hi everyone. Today is the 19th of November and my name is Anne-Marie Band and this is the Moneyball Morning Report for the Benzinga Pro platform. Yes, she's starting with Bitcoin so she doesn't forget it this time. Sorry folks, here was the storyboard. For those of us on the Benzinga Pro platform, you know I put an image up here that said, hey listen, we got to come down to this 90,000 area, but if we hold it, the buyers are still in charge. And have a look. All right, it looks really, really good. Last area of liquidity up at 94,000, and then, you know, we've got something up at 94.5. We're trying to break out of the value area high. My thought is it's still going to have a little trouble at a double top, but we'll come back, fill in more of the profile, and give us another shot to the upside. This is the trend line that I'm looking at here below. So pullbacks today into 91, and if at all possible, 90, going to give us another buying event. We do have a crossover here on the stochastic momentum, and that is suggesting that price action should cool off near the trend line, and that number looks like about 91,700. Remember, that chart likes the 500s and the aughts, the zeros, for price action to continue, and because it jumps so much, it can jump by $200-300 at a time. All right, so that's why micro Bitcoin is really fun to trade, because you can trade small and incrementally add up. I'm a big fan of that. Let's take a look at the ES. Markets tumbling, not tumbling, they're moving a little bit to the downside. We got Putin. Of course, he has to respond if Biden says to Ukraine, no, go ahead. Shoot some weapons over there, and yeah, let's start ourselves a big war. So he has to come back and say something. I have no idea what kind of jawboning is going to happen, but the markets are fading just a little bit. Take a look. We've got liquidity and a trend line event, not a trend line, a baseline event at that 58.83. Listen, look at the trend. We broke it after the Asia markets opened up and Putin said what he needed to say. We faded, we came back into heavy liquidity. That was yesterday's London Open, and so far we're holding it. If we cannot hold this 58.83, we're going to take trips down first to 58.76. You might go, oh, that's only 7 points, but that's the halfback of this box. The bottom of the box is 58.48, and the liquidity below there is 58.36. Are we in a buy the dip formation? Potentially, but it's also into a lower high. So another choppy day ahead, but in general, pullbacks are only going to hold as buy zones as long as we stay above 58.80. After that, all bets are off, and buyers are likely to run for the fire escape. Oh, silly goose. On the upside, for targets, where are we looking at? Value area low. That's 59.11. Top side, 59.30. Still looking at this area near 59.50 to give us some sort of test zone that tells us whether this move is going to hold. All right, taking a look at the NQ. Same sort of thing. News came out after Asia. Broke the trend line yesterday, right? So I'm going to widen this trend line so it gives us a few more touches. And that tells us the traders are trying to find value. London low, 20,500. Listen, if we cannot hold it, buying the dip is not going to be friendly. Wait for it to recapture that if you're thinking about buying the dip. Else, it's going to be the London Open from the New York Open from 2 days ago, down at 20,402, and then 20,328. Listen, we could move to 20,000 in a heartbeat. It just depends on how willing the traders are to defend this area. My thought is we're going to have ourselves a very slushy market in the near term. Deep dips might be the buys, but in general, all of these charts are showing me that bounces into prior resistance, this one near 20,700, going to be a sell zone. Yesterday, it was a beautiful sell zone. Today, it could be as well. All right? Well, watch it. Watch the buyers try to come in and hold this 20,500. If they break and they cannot get up over the opening range hour at 20,600, we've got ourselves a problem for more upside pressure. This one, true to form, bounced and fell. Like I said yesterday, listen, my suspicion is this is sell the bounce, and it is still continuing to sell. We're not at the halfback space, but we've broken the London low, and so let's scoot on over to see the last time we had this test, 43,200. Last time we broke away, 42,928. That's 43,000-ish. That, to me, looks like the target. So what are the traders going to try and do? We're here at a very low stochastic level, so they're going to try and bounce this. But the bounces are going to be sell zones. Use your 30-minute charts today. Using 5-minute charts are probably going to slap you about the head and shoulders. Just saying. RTY, I heard Lance Roberts, big fan, incidentally, of Lance Roberts. He does the Real Investment Advisor show on YouTube. He's out of Houston, and that's how I know him, because I have family there. So I don't know him, I know of him. Here's what he was talking about. He thinks that the Russell is going to fade and then bounce. I think every bounce in the Russell ought to sell. Here's the storyboard, though. At the current time, that's exactly what's happening. So we want to watch for a line break here. I'm going to remove that segment because simply it's a range. If we can get up over 2303, we could say, hey, listen, I'd like to buy it into 2330-ish and then cover. This is still making lower lows, folks, and until it stops doing that, this chart is not out of the woods. Speaking of which, let's look at nat gas. I had someone say to me, a couple of weeks ago, when they said, hey, nat gas, gotta buy it. Listen, nothing wrong with buying and holding this for a short term, but we are at the very top of the range. Nat gas should be given a little bit of trouble. Want to see if it can break the zone that it's currently trying to defend at 290. All right, let's jump to oil. A lot of saber rattling across the pond, and yet oil is not moving very dramatically. However, we did stay a while above 68.80 and now bouncing again. We pulled back into about 68.40, 68.50, and we've really bounced pretty hard. So my thought is the following. If you can stomach the fade or wait for it into the old retest zones of about 68.70, this could be an upshot into the 70 areas. I like that very much. Else, back down to 68, and then another challenge at 67.70. This one's super noisy. Gold continues look at this bounce off of this measured move. Boom, boom, boom. Absolutely incredible. That's really long in the tooth. So here is the last area of liquidity, 26.50. I believe this chart is sitting at resistance, but we've had no significant crossover on the momentum event. And so steady as she goes into that area, 26.49. And if it fades there, it's going to be a nice short back into the volume point of control, which is also this very, very clustered move of participation. If it breaks to the north, which I don't know that it will, if it does, the next stair step would be heavy congestion at around 26.71. Let's look at SPY. SPY, here's the measured move here. One, woo, sorry. Gosh, me, operator error. All right. So here we are coming to the base. Take a look. Old resistance, new support, lots of liquidity trying to hang on here. If it loses traction, folks, gonna be ugly. They're gonna run for the hills. But it could be swift in that formation. And so I'm gonna draw a box around here. this relative area of frontline support. It's smaller than this one above, but it tells us, listen, if I drop down into 582, I could easily test 580. Let's see the halfback of this particular box. Looks like somewhere around here, 580, and then the baseline of that event is 578. Take a look at the formation. Bounces are sell zones this morning. Cues. All right, here we are, base of the box, right? Coming down, rejection of value area low. This looks a lot like sector rotation to me. Truly, it does. So what are we staring down? Here's the wave that I drew. The 50% is here at 500. If we break 500, we have a shot at 502, then 505. If we cannot hold the low of 494, which is where I think we test, which is about $2 away, we slip to 492 and then, easily 489, right? Do I think it comes into 480? Yes, I do, but these are normally very bullish areas in the market for us to watch. All right, folks, buckle up. Gonna be a Dramamine day. Take care, and I'll see you on the streams.